This is my story. Every Hopi has their story. So I'm not saying this is the way it is. It's just my story. Mother Ocean gave birth to the earth. Tuwakatsi, sand world, right? The earth. And life came about. It was beautiful, beautiful life. All the creatures talk. Um, then man came, the twins. We call the Kanghoya, one who weaves, and the Ekur, Balangahoya, the communicator. And they're under the supervision of Grandma Spider. They were going to take care of paradise. But something happened, and it didn't work out that way. And then came the ancient civilizations, Rome and the Greeks. They call it ancient civilizations, was the next world. That ended up the same way. Man got greedy, fighting over land, and religion, whose religion is better. And that, to me, is when our ancestors came here to the Western Hemisphere and started a civilization. Great civilization, but same thing happened. The leaders became corrupted and began to sacrifice children. And that's when our ancestors said, we got to get out of here and start a new world. Probably other groups too, not just our ancestors. And then went north through the desert, always looking for a place where water is. I don't know what they did. They did arrive. They came upon a big river. We now call Pisisway or Colorado River. Followed it all the way into the Grand Canyon, we call it, and then found like a huge anthill on the side of the little Colorado River, we now call it. And the water comes out, spill over, go back in. For I don't know how many million years it's been building up because it flows over and it dries up, add to the hill, go back in. And so elders said it was breathing. And so the wise ones that were leading the people said, this is the place where we need to come out of the canyon. That's now we call it CPOP, but that again is connected to the original CPOP, which is the ocean, through CPOP, the umbilical cord. It was a hard climb, but they did it. First thing they noticed was footprints, human footprints. So they followed and finally found him working his field just south of Oraive. So after days of talking with Maso, he said, I only have three things that I use to sustain my way of life. Ear of corn, gourd of water, and a planting stick. He said, this is all I have. The ants leader said, okay, we're going to stay. We want to stay with you. And they asked for his permission. And he said, I can do that. I don't own the land. I just take care of this part of the earth. If you decide to stay, you have to follow my path, my way, which is hard. You can't fight over things. You can't go to war or anything like that. Nonviolent, peaceful people. You have to be like that. Follow my way. That's my path. It's a spiritual path. And then you have to agree to help me take care of this earth, part of the earth. That's the covenant, the sacred agreement. And that, to me, is the basis of our civilization. But look at us Hopis today. That's not the way we're behaving. We now have accepted this Bahana thing called property rights. There was no such thing. We fight over water rights. No one has right to water. Hard for people to understand the way we think. So to them, water is a commodity, a thing you can use, exploit, make money, and look what we're doing with water now. Come on, get a bottle of water. Come on, it's just going to cost a lot. Water is sacred. It's a spirit. Without water, no life can exist on earth. That's the way we think. Sipapu is Mother Ocean. The heart of our mother is dying.
Hopi people refer to Kukveni as our footprint. Hopi people are unique in that we are combined of multiple clan groups that have traveled over the course of time to come together to form under one name called the Hopi tribe. And we are named after the first being, if you will, that inhabited these lands. And we asked this person named Hopi permission to live on this landscape. He told them, I am simply a caretaker of this land. I don't own this land. It doesn't belong to anyone. And if you want to live the way I do, you have to commit to this responsibility of being stewards. And I'm just letting you know that my way is a hard life, but it's rewarding. So Kukveni in the proposed monument refers to that commitment that Hopi people make. And Kukveni refers to archaeological sites, trails, petroglyphs, broken pieces of pottery that our ancestors purposely broke to place on the landscape as an identifier, and springs, shrines, all of that is under that one word, Kukveni. So this is Hopi. It is truly our identity, and we are simply asking the Biden administration to protect what we have left.
In our language, Han Majevikwa means the water will heal you. The water can hear you. So when you need something, you go to the spring water and you do an offering and you do a prayer. And then after that, you drink the water and you bless yourself with the water. And that has been done for many, many centuries. And once you get the blessing, you're given the opportunity to enjoy life and drink the fresh water. And I would like for everyone to enjoy that. Everyone deserves fresh water, clean water. And that's what this whole campaign is about. The Havasupai elders felt it was important to use the American system to try to protect Grand Canyon. And a lot of these elders didn't really speak English that well. And I was their translator. And what really struck me about them was they were very happy to be back to their Aboriginal territory. Because you gotta remember, these elders lived through the era of all their land being taken away. And what always really encouraged me was they weren't bitter. They held themselves with pride and was very friendly to people. And that's what a Havasupai is to be friendly and voice your truth and be a respectful person. And that's how they made alliances and that they were able to work with people. And they're the ones that created the foundation for this actual national monument. A lot of them are not with us anymore. They've all passed. But I can feel them. I sometimes can hear them. They're the ones that trained me to be who I am today. They're the ones that really started this campaign. And we're just picking up where they left off. And then when it's my time to go, somebody else is gonna pick up where I left off. I know the Havasupai has led this fight ever since I was a child, but now it's everyone's fight. Everyone is taking this on just as much as the Havasupai elders did. Our small voices are now heard in the White House. And that is a big step for my small tribe.
The Baaj, Nwaavjo, Kukveni Grand Canyon National Monument is a historical landmark for Arizona. The monument declared by President Biden under the Antiquities Act is something that AFN and our leaders and our indigenous spiritual leaders and advocates have been working on for decades. President Biden came and declared this monument. AFN was lucky enough to be present for that declaration this summer and to work with the White House advocating in DC and here at the state level as well to ensure that this land is protected for generations to come. This land is sacred land to our indigenous communities. It is the birthplace for the Hopi religion, and it is many other sacred places for numerous indigenous voices. It was essential for us to protect this land and stand with those who call it holy. Sacred land should be protected just like we should be able to worship in safety in a cathedral. So should our indigenous brothers and sisters be able to worship on their land in safety and not worry about uranium mining destroying the springs unto which they declare as the sacred creation place of their tradition. So when this was declared, it was a major victory for the indigenous leaders of Arizona. It was a victory for religious freedom, practice for all people to ensure that their religion is protected in the United States. And it was a huge victory for our Cherishing Creation Collaborative. This sacred land work has been going on for ages, and we are so proud that this has come to fruition in such a unique, diverse way. It was a tribally led effort. The 13 Grand Canyon area tribes were the leaders on this, and we had the privilege of getting to stand behind them and walk with them to call on President Biden to declare the monument.